Showtime! Hi.
Hey,
And
everybody.
today we have Teri and Holding Your Space, and this is Nancy Jean's Garden. And y'all made it here. So all we can say to you is applause to you because both Teri and I have been struggling against anything flowing in time and working out where we expected it to be. I mean, the last few days have been nuts.
Yeah, really nuts. Between my website, my dishwasher, um, everything, and my calendar, just crazy. Yeah,
But
Oh, go ahead.
I wanted to start with a grateful is an open heart. A grateful heart is an open heart. And this is something I get. I get a weekly little blurb from Findhorn Foundation, FIND Horn, HORN. And if you know anything about them, they're very good. But they send you this, and I just love reading their things at the beginning of the week because they help so much. And when I pulled this one up today, I went, whoa, is this on the market? It's always let your heart be filled with love and gratitude. I cannot stress strongly enough because a grateful heart is an open heart, and I, as in the universe, can work through it. The universe cannot work in and through resentful, negative, jealous, hate-filled hearts because they're dehydrated and they're blind. Keep on raising your consciousness. Keep on loving. Keep on giving thanks. Keep on seeing the very best. Keep on going and doing what you can. The universe's will is listening, and your will hear it no matter how small you hear the voice. As you keep doing this, your vibrations will be raised because you become light. You radiate light, and then you can use fully the light I send you for your work. So that's, and Teri and I decided we need a big jolt of that because the light's been, I feel like I'm in the middle of a coal mine with a candle.
Yeah, I gravitate between too much and not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And it's finding that balance these past couple of weeks has been a little difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And interesting, really interesting, because when you look at it with curiosity, it's like, what am I supposed to learn here? And there have been a lot of growth opportunities, I have to say.
Yes.
So,
what can I say? Okay, let's see. Okay, if you want to post questions, we'll get to them as we have time. But what Teri and I really want to talk to you guys about is it's kind of cosmic vibrations and energy that's coming in from the universe. And one of the things that's happened, there's, as ley lines and Rory Duff and all those guys got more into trying to figure out where this web was and how to find it other than using a dowsing rod. Because even though a dowsing rod is a perfectly legitimate way to find one, don't try to convince the scientist of that. So they wanted to come up with instruments where they could record it and it would make a little line on a piece of paper that would make everybody happy. Oh, yes, it's really here. And there's a scientist I know who used to measure certain kinds of responses, and he said, until we can measure it, we can't control it, or until we measure it, we can't conceive how to use it. The way it becomes useful is when it becomes measurable. And so they came up with a whole lot of things that find a very low level of vibration. And one of the things they were using it for is at the edge of the universe, there's these two black holes they think this is where this wave is coming from. These black holes are circling each other, and eventually they'll collide, and then God only knows what's going to happen. And they don't. I mean, the scientists don't, but they can. There's this thing, and it's called the, I think it's called the cosmic wave, but they started really following it about 2 years ago, and it periodically just goes over our planet. And the energy of that wave, it shifts a lot of other energetics that they're following on our planet. That means it's going through us, guys. It's not just, oh, isn't that lovely? It's going through the ocean. We're in it too. So, and you found out some stuff about that.
Yeah, I did. It was quite interesting. They were talking about black holes, and according to some theories, an hour inside a black hole would be the equivalent to 1 billion years for someone outside it. This is because time and space would be distorted by gravity so much that they would not exist as we know them, which to me has always felt like a dark hole is like pure consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else exists. And it's interesting because like you were talking about how scientists need controls. They need to be able to measure things. You can't measure consciousness.
Mm-mm.
They start by noticing frequencies, right? And the sound of it. And now all of a sudden recognizing that plants have frequencies and different things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's quite interesting. But anyway, so they're kind of starting to think about consciousness a little more, I feel like the scientists are.
Mm-hmm.
And what that means.
And they're tying vibrations to consciousness.
Yeah.
And there's a guy who did, if you've ever seen that vibrational chart that Danny and I put at the bottom of our dowsing chart. So I know it's here. It's on the top of my.
I think I have, and I love it.
Yeah, it's that little pyramid.
Yeah.
Starts at 10. And he was, the guy who developed that chart was a kinesiologist. In other words, he was trying to figure out how people can use energy most effectively through their bodies. And in working with people, and he started working with them in the 40s. And by working with them, he came up with this chart because he could tell about a person's mental state by the vibrations that were around them. And that's where those things, and he does it from 0 to 1,000. You can also find charts where it's 0 to 100. And if you've never seen a chart that does something like that, I've got a couple of dowsing charts that I copied off Subtil. We're going to go to the desk. Trust me, this is so much better than me trying to hold it up and let you see it. And what you do with this kind of a chart is it's got green, infrared, black, red, and it goes all the way around to gold, silver, and white. But the numerically, and I don't know what these K's are around the outside. If you go to Subtil, which is subtil.net, it's a French site. They have, if you want a dowsing chart for anything, they've got it for best breed of dog for you, whether food's good for you to eat. I mean, they've got everything in the world. If you want to practice your pendulum, it's the way to do it. But what I liked about this one, it goes, this is the lower end, the 0 to 10, and this is the upper end, the 80 to 90. This would be, the white would be like going to 1,000 in that chart the kinesiologist did. But okay, do I have permission to douse? Swinging away from me means yes. Is my higher self with me? Yeah, don't want that going away. And am I protected? That's the most important one. Am I protected? Yeah, mostly. There's always a chance someone's going to creep in. But so what I'm going to do is I'm doing a show, so there's no telling where my vibration is. But where is my vibration right now? What number is my vibration right now? 50 or 60. And honestly, today, guys, I can tell you that's probably pretty much true. I usually get over in the 90s to 1,000. But the last couple days have just been one plan after another, keep falling apart, thinking they're getting together. Now, this is a chart on what might be possibly blocking my vibration from moving forward. So we're going to see. It's got everything from addictions, astral travel, bacteria or viruses, chakra imbalances, psychic energy vampires, incoming cords from other people. That's people who try to attach to you when you don't want to be attached to. Hormonal deficiencies, unbalanced relationships. I mean, it's got a zillion of them. So I'm going to do the high risk behavior here. Be nice, universe. What's going on around me right now? Yep. Hormonal deficiencies or overactive immune systems. And that would be true because I am trying to balance my system back. I did keto for a long time and I absolutely love it. And I'm not speaking badly of keto, but I wasn't as careful as I should have been about keeping my minerals up. So I'm in the process of balancing magnesium back into my body. And I can tell you within a week of putting the magnesium back in my body, how a lot of things have gone away, but they ain't completely gone away. So,
wow.
So
yeah, magnesium's a big one.
Yeah, it's like your body can't function without it. I was quickly learning that.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know that would do that. But I do recognize someone was talking the other day about women and after we go through the change or while we're going through the change and how we need more, we need to upgrade our protein. We need more protein and we need more fat. And I'm like, really? Okay, I can handle that. Tell me about it. So anyway, it's interesting. I feel like we're not really taught how to eat. They just tell us eat less, eat less.
Well, one of the things magnesium has a big effect on is lower tract problems.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. I will not get graphic, but that's why milk of magnesia has magnesia in it. But also, I read this article by this man who was talking about how, how women, they joke about women and now they sell all that underwear. Oh, catch that little drip. That little drip is the magnesium deficiency.
Oh, I did not know that.
That controls, and they've said that for years they've been giving people medicines to help with that problem, and they'll work for about a year, and then your body will work a way around it. And the things they found are magnesium and a couple of different mushrooms, more exotic ones like lion's mane and turkey tail. And that would make sense to me because lion's mane and turkey tail are also mushrooms or fungi that doctors use in treatment of cancer.
Wow. Yeah.
So your cells start going nuts. And I went to the magnesium to try and help balance out my balance. And it really worked. And it helps you sleep. You don't wake up at 4 a.m. saying, it's 4 a.m. Why am I up?
Yeah. Yeah. It makes a huge change. Yeah. I have a combination of things that I take in the morning, and golden mane in it. And
What is it?
Golden mane and what's the stuff for your bones? I don't know why I can't think of it right now. Your skin and your
collagen.
Collagen, thank you. Yeah, it's a mix of that and ashwagandha, shirvate, and there's one other thing in it. Anyway, but it's quite nice. I like it. Oh, Debbie says magnesium helps with migraines too.
Yeah. I've never had a migraine, so I can't testify to that one. But I can tell you, within 2 days of starting the magnesium, I started falling asleep and just going right to sleep. None of that tossing and turning and listening to 3 different meditations, trying to get my head to go down. It just went down.
That's wonderful.
Now apparently I'm conscious enough to realize how screwed up things are in my life. Like my Zoom, one of my credit cards got compromised, so everything got changed except the places that have traditional payments on it, like your quarterly payments, or actually with Zoom, it's once every 6 months. Zoom wrote me, you won't be able to use Zoom soon unless you pay your bill. And I realized, it got caught up with that credit card. I have been trying to get into Zoom since Saturday to talk to someone to get it straightened around. I tried to do it on the computer screen, and I'm not a klutz on the computer. I do have a degree in computer science and accounting, but just none of the buttons work. and I'm using the password I know is the password. It says, no, it's not your password.
Wow.
If I didn't need to have Zoom meetings periodically to talk to lovely people, I can tell you one vendor would be off my thing. I mean, they have if you call them on the phone, I waited 40 minutes on hold because I finally said, well, I'm going to try the phone.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Amanda's asking, in what form are the mushrooms, Teri? It's a powder form.
Mm-hmm.
It's
But with lion's mane, I don't know what it's like with your mushrooms. But if you have Netflix and you can see the movie Fungi, watch it. It's incredible about how all that's connected. But what I was told when I did my research is for lion's mane, not lion's mane, lion's mane, to make sure on the label it says created from extract, because if they just dry the lion's mane and chop it up and make it into a powder, when the water gets evaporated out of it, so does the effective element that's in it. You have to extract the fluid and then dry that, and so.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I don't. I'm not very good with all that, and so my daughter is really good at researching everything, and I let her buy it, so order it for me. So
and if you can find an herbalist in your area, there are herbalist stores. Go in and talk to them. I mean, because they wouldn't be standing in that store among all those jars unless they had some sort of interest in it.
Yeah, we found an amazing store in Kansas City, and it's it's a small store. It's woman owned, and it's they do things for everybody, but they have a lot of potions and things that they put together with rose and lion's mane and all sorts of different things. But it's amazing.
And this is for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
You know, you have to go do your own research. I didn't know where it was. I started looking around saying, why am I falling over sideways? And led down an interesting rabbit hole.
It is really interesting. I'm starting to think about now is also wheat, and feeling like I have a wheat intolerance, because there's a lot of times if I have pasta or something for dinner, I'll be ready to go to bed right away. It's just like, okay, I'm done. I'm out. So I feel like the insulin in it. And it could be that I'm not eating it with the right things, but it could also be.
It could also, well, it's also the wheat we get is not the wheat of our grandfathers.
Right. Right. And I am pretty careful to buy durum from Italy, pasta, but who knew, right? I just found out about that a few months ago too. So there's all sorts of things.
Well, when I decided that I was going to finally do something about my weight, which was before COVID even. I was dieting before, and I lost a lot of the weight during COVID when everybody said apparently everybody was finding my weight. But I went from 120 pounds to 199. And then because I got silly and said, oh, that was easy, I'm just going to cheat every once in a while. And I've cheated my way up to 225, but I still am so much healthier than I was. But wheat was a big one. Some people can be on keto and they can occasionally cheat and eat wheat. If I eat wheat, I may as well just have lost the whole week of whatever was going on before. My body's that reactive to wheat. And there are ways of finding out if your body is. And it was a real interesting lesson into what works and what doesn't. But like I said, it was my fault. I didn't follow a keto regimen that had a lot of greens in it, because they're so scary about carbs. But now I'm on a lower carb thing, not as restrictive, and they make sure they don't care if it's 3 sticks of celery. I got to have something green.
Yeah.
Every day. But I loved keto when I first got on it. You can eat butter and you can have bacon. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm sitting there eating all that stuff and I'm shrinking. I'm putting my pants on and they're falling to my knees. I was like, this is wonderful.
Perfect. Perfect. Hi, Sharon Syme. How are you? Sharon's here. It's so nice
Good.
to see you. Janet. It's a lot of people here. Yeah, it's a lot. And then I think about doing all protein and whatnot and keto, and then I have a cup of tea with honey in it, and I'm like, okay, I got to figure this out.
You know what I use to control my blood pressure, and I can't tell you to do this if you have blood pressure medicine. Do not take this on. But my doctor wanted to put me. This is when I was down about 100, right at 200 pounds, and I had a cardiovascular event. That's what they call it.
Mm-hmm.
My heart went nuts.
Oh wow!
And so they were trying to figure it out. And thing is, I didn't fall down. I didn't have any pain in my chest. I didn't have anything. I just felt a little bit woozy. And the little bit woozy meant that my heart rate was getting up to 200 beats a minute. Yeah. That's why I need to get my watch to work. I was telling Teri my watch won't recharge, but it has a little alarm. When I get up to like 145, it says, go sit down somewhere, dummy. This is what happens when you don't live in your body. Your body just falls apart all kinds of ways. But my doctor put me on the lowest dose it's been out for a bazillion years. It controls your blood pressure and it helps control also your heart rate. And I took it for 3 weeks and I gained 30 pounds.
Whoa.
And so I quit taking it and I lost 5 within a week. And it was just water. I mean, it screws. Anyway, that's my experience. That's why I don't like Big Pharma. So I started doing some of my research and I found an article in Lancet, which is sort of the AMA Journal of England. It's their most prestigious medical journal. And it was on herbal things you can use for things that they commonly prescribe for. And hibiscus tea had the same efficacy as the pill he had me on. But you got to drink a cup of it every morning. And I'm going to tell you, I told someone this and they went and drank some hibiscus tea. And she immediately wrote me back and said, this stuff tastes about as wretched as anything I've ever put in my mouth. But if you put a little honey in it, it's not bad.
Yeah.
And when I go in to see my cardiologist, he put on my chart, she's using hibiscus tea. We'll see what happens.
Wow. Yeah. Everybody's saying they like hibiscus. Well, Kay is.
Well, yeah. When you drink it just as raw hot tea first thing in the morning, trust me, your body's like, this has got to be medicinal. For medicinal purposes only.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's these things differently.
Yeah, everybody does. And I've kind of worked around trying to figure out different things. Like for some reason, I don't know if anybody else is like that. Coffee just isn't doing it for me anymore. I've gone to a black Irish tea, a morning tea. Mm-hmm. And, I feel like my body's kind of changing and asking for different things. So
coffee is an incredible diuretic. When it turns on you, it turns on you fast. Yeah. And I started having this is another part of finding magnesium. It turned on me, and I finally just had to walk away from it. And had all these lovely coffee beans yet to be ground, so I found coffee drinking friends and gave them away because I didn't even. They're just some coffees I like, and I used to every day in keto. I'd have a cup of hot coffee with cream and collagen in it, mm-hmm. and MCT oil.
Yep.
Butter, and you whiz it up in the blender, and it's like a latte.
Yeah.
And it's just wonderful until it isn't wonderful anymore.
Yeah. That's not pretty.
Mm-mm.
Yep. Jen grew up drinking hibiscus tea. We call it Jamaica. Oh, nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I like that.
It does taste like someone ground up a flower and put it in water. I got to admit that.
Yeah, we have some hibiscus.
What happened?
Yeah, I like it. I like rose hips. I like hibiscus.
It's good iced. I think if you're going to drink, I tend to want something hot in the morning. I don't know why I live in a place that's hot enough, but I like something warm in the morning. And so I tend to have a little teapot that I make it in. But if I have some left over in the afternoon, I'll pour it over ice and throw a little lemon or lime in it.
That sounds really good.
We've got key limes in right now. They're absolutely wonderful.
I
Going to
would
make everybody hungry. It's lunchtime somewhere. Okay, we do have a couple questions.
Okay.
I'll show you if I can. Oh, I have to clean my desk. This has just gotten beyond the pale. There it is. I'm going to use dowsing charts today.
Oh, nice.
So, I really want people to learn. There's a lot of different ways to do this. The fastest and quickest usually for me is tarot if I'm all set up for it, but I'm not today. So you're getting dowsing. So I'm going to my desk.
Okay.
And here is our question. Was this person sent in? Why was this person sent into my life? And what lessons am I supposed to learn from him? So you want to take the first part, Miss Teri, and I'll see if it's a good or bad outcome for her.
Yeah. I feel like this person is sent into your life about boundaries is what the first thing that they're bringing to me. Flower beauty. It's like it's a yes and a no thing. It's like you don't have to bring everybody into the center. You know, if you look at a circle, and the center of the circle is like the people that you trust the most and that you share the most with. This person can be more of a satellite friendship or come in and out, which is the way relationships go, right? Not everybody's going to be in the center all the time, or very few. So so they're talking about boundaries with that. And if you want to go ahead, I'll pull a card, or I can pull a card too.
I'm going to ask, because what I heard from my guides was he's a remembrance. He's someone you've known in another life before. And I'm asking if this is yes. That's going to, let's see if I can get the camera. Such a place where I can see the yes. Okay. This would be yes. And this would be no. And I'm going to try to set my hand back far enough so that you can see what's going on. First, I'm going to ask, is this guy from a past life, which is one of the reasons why you related to him so quickly? Yes, he's from a past life. And is he to bring some sort of permanence into this life? No. So he's not a keeper. What'd you get?
Yeah, I get that too. They say retreat. So, you know, and this is entertainment only. But flower beauty, it's like, it might be kind of enchanting. Like there is an attraction there, and they're acknowledging it, but look for guidance on that. So you might want to listen to your heart. So, but that first one was a pop out that said retreat. So I would just kind of watch it.
You know, these people that come into your life like that from the past, they're to bring up memories of energies you've known and usually you've conquered. But in this life, you're not feeling in the position to be able to conquer it. So, I mean, I had a guy I met on my way between marriages. I met a lovely man who was just a playmate. So is this guy just a playmate for you? No, he's a lesson. He's not just isn't this fun? You need to study what in his energy entices you. I think that would help you. Got anything else you want to say?
Yeah, they're kind of showing me that it's this might be showing you how far you've come to flower beauty.
Yeah, the fact you didn't fall head over heels and invite him in, unless
Yeah.
I hope he's not sleeping on your couch. But
Mhm.
you're learning. Consider it a growth lesson, and bless his energy for what it taught you in the past and what you're going to learn in this life by dealing with it.
Yeah.
Question. I have some intense dreams last night. I was facing many thoughts, conclusions all at once. It was overwhelming. A love message from your guides on how to proceed. I can't do that with a pendulum. Sorry.
So they're bringing in like kind of a veil for you. Or it's like a half a hoop, if that makes any sense, Ness, and something to kind of chillax with. And they're saying that you're getting a lot of downloads right now. You got a lot going on. They want to soften things for you. But you're kind of persevering. And I say kind of, but they're saying no, she's really persevering. That you're kind of pushing full throttle. Oh, it's like you had a life review or something. Yeah. And yeah, and they're saying just relax a little bit. That life review, it could have been a life review, but it's also they want you to take some time with this, and I think a lot of us are going through that. Oh, okay. Well, this has something to do with somebody that you were romantically tied to. Your guardian angels are helping you with it. You've got 3 choices here, like 3 portals. You can look at it as 3 choices, 3 ways of doing things. And you've got just so many, you're pushing it full throttle. Yeah, I can feel it, Ness. So ideas and inspiration. So just give yourself a few minutes to sit back, like put a little veil around you and kind of retreat a little bit.
Okay. What I'm going to ask for you, Ness, is how to proceed. This is the energy from the past. Oh, yeah, this is somebody who definitely, and you moved away from him. This is the present right now. It's the Knight of Swords. Yeah, you definitely want to move on. His energy will make you want to. And this is how to proceed in the future. Get my stones off my garden. You're going to heal and you're going to be wounded. And actually, at the end of this, what this is doing, it's opening up a way for you to meet the new people you need. That's the 5 of coins reversed. And when it's right side up, it means you're wandering around and you have no idea where to go. But what's happening is you've let go of something that was very binding to your soul. This is the devil. And you've shunted that out and you got on your little chariot and you got the hell away from that. And now you want to charge on like the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords is a lot of movement. This could be that it's preparing you for a change of residence in your home or a change of jobs. You're already starting to think, what if this happens? What if that happens? And not in a worrisome way, but being open to the idea, maybe that's the best way to go. It's not going to bring your tower down. It's not going to destroy you, but it's actually going to move you to the people you need to meet and you need to know.
Yeah. She's saying, yes, I let go of a belief and got the hell away from a bunch of people.
Well,
and jobs.
Yeah, that's him. You're in the middle of when I used to read at table and just read to people who weren't seeking me out on YouTube, but they were seeking me out with money. When the Knight of Swords would show up, I'd say, you're going to be moving houses or jobs. And I remember one young woman, and I still read her, and I kept telling her they were going to be moving. And she said, no, we've lived where we lived for 7 years. We absolutely love it. Nothing could possibly make us ever move from where we live. And finally, she sat down one night at my table and she goes, we moved. And they just had it, their jobs had shifted north, so the traffic was so horrible. And unfortunately for her, she moved, but she got in a new car with her new job, and she's really proud of it. And when we were sitting at my table, we heard an on-street accident, and these kids were robbing a store, and people saw them, and they were in a little panel truck, and they swerved around the corner, and they demolished the side of her new car.
Oh.
And I said, I sat up and flinched, and I said, what the hell's that? Then we heard the crash. And I said, don't go out and look. Send your husband out. And he came in. He said, it's a mess. So change brings all sorts of change. Here's our question. Can you see if my vibration is higher? Wondering if I will do my medium work or if I am already doing your medium work. Yeah, it kind of sneaks up on you. One day you realize, oh, I am really hearing the thoughts of the person in the shopping cart behind me. Please and thank you.
You're welcome, Ness. She says, thanks to both of us. It was a good reading.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Sonia, I agree with Nancy Jean. You're already hearing things. You just need to use your voice and ask for some clarity.
She's the person I think this grateful heart, open heart was about. You have to open your heart, because if you get afraid and you close it down, your heart will become dehydrated and blind, and you won't have your skills. So if they're in the process of opening up, welcome them. Don't be afraid of them. But what are you seeing, sweetie?
Yeah, I'm seeing that you're kind of being scared of disappointment on this. Mm-hmm. So you get the 5 of Cups, and it's like just worried about not being able to fill up, not being able to bring forward what you need to. But you're standing in your light. Mm-hmm. You've got this, and it's like kind of like you've been through a battle. You've been through a lot, Sonia, and you had to work hard for this. And this is what brings you pleasure. And that's when you know that you're doing the right thing, is when you find something that brings you so much joy, you just can't stop doing it. Just really, really curious about it. And you get abundance, honey. So you're going to be filled with light. Yeah, really good cards.
I'm going to see the path she's on, where she is. Okay. This is an old deck of cards of mine I dug up the other day. It's Morgan Greer. I love the images on it, but it just shuffles so much better. Some of my newer decks that I've been doing a lot of the contemporary readings on, they were starting to stick together. It's like, we don't want to do this anymore. Oh. Yeah. Okay. This is your past, and this is where you are right now. And this is you questioning. That's the 9 of Pentacles, and you're questioning, do I have this abundance? That's your question. And in the past, you didn't feel like, I'm not ready for it. As a matter of fact, you have some, when you get open enough about it, you're going to have some real interesting stories to tell about how you knew exactly what was going on, and you didn't open your mouth. We all have those stories, don't we, Teri? But for your future, no, it's not an illusion or a delusion. And that's where you are right now. Am I being delusional, or is this real? It is real. And look what it does. When I talked about it opening up your heart, it opens you up to the Ace of Cups, which is all kinds of abundance. It's your soul path. It's where you're supposed to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're doing it. And it's not hurting you. So don't worry about it. And as much as Teri and I might gripe about some of the things we do, I don't know. Here's somebody who's in our vibe. A lot of little things are not going my way, but definitely I have some positive ones too. Those are the ones to remember.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's interesting right now, Cindy, the things that are coming up. that are negative, that we have anger about, or that kind of ruffle our feathers. I mean, look at those too, because that's quite interesting. I'm finding that the things that are coming up are like deeper than what we think they are. Like you can look at it like, when did I feel like that before? How old was I? And did I feel like that before that? Was there something that happened, whether your parent didn't pick you up from school, or something where you felt out of sorts? Yeah. Oh, quit a job and got a new job. Yeah. Yeah. So that's
I always feel at the new job, the first weekend, I'm like, no matter how wretched it was before, why did I move here? I don't belong here. That's why I work for myself. Then the only person I have to kick around is me.
Yeah.
I'm just curious as to the mental wellness of light workers now, with all the wave changes. When to know if meds intervention is required, or can you manage it personally? I'm not going to get into the meds. I will tell you about, you feel nuts. But the thing was, I have really strong guides. Get to know your guides, because your guides will continually remind you you're not nuts. And they may be the only person in the room other than you that thinks that, but that's okay. And with the energy waves that are coming in, that's one of the reasons why I got interested in energy waves, was because I started working with the elementals, and I was being told the ley lines are doubling in size every 6 months, and all this other stuff's happening. And if you walk out and you feel it, I walked out on the first ley line that I ever knew exactly where it was, because the universe painted it yellow. It put this big yellow stripe down my lawn, just in case I didn't want to miss it. And when I was standing in it, I looked at Hogarth, my tree, and I said, oh my God, this feels woozy. And he said, there's too much energy in there for you. You have to get used to it. And it was about a 6-month process before I could kind of walk all the way around Hogarth. I can tell where the energy lines are. I can tell where it's just grass, but the energy doesn't disrupt my energy, because what happens is my energy has accepted that energy, so I can plug into it. So if you think about it that way, I think at first I was sort of like trying to stick an American toaster oven into a European power plug. Doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a lot of energy, isn't it, with your trees? And I know my tree, if I lean into her, I feel like I'm going into that black hole. And it is a lot of energy. And I know certain places I can go to with her that I'll be comfortable, but other places where I might feel a little overwhelmed. Gray, I love your question. I love about the meds part of it. I'm not a medical worker, and I think every person has their own choices to make with any of that, whether it's, there's all sorts of natural medicinal ways of doing that, or with your doctor. It's always up to you. And I get, I pulled some animal cards for you, animal spirit cards. Wasp, wasp spirit. Sometimes life stings. That's kind of what we're going through, but you'll see all the design behind the wasp there. And that's kind of the design, right? That's how we learn, that everything that's coming in. But we get the whale spirit, and I love the whale spirit, because I feel like the whale spirit is also dragon spirit, because they shapeshift into each other. And trust the great mystery, because it is such a beautiful time on this planet and in the galaxy. And then frog spirit, get rid of all the old stuff, because all the new stuff's coming in. Look at that beautiful light coming in. So anyway, I feel like you've got this. Wow. He's also standing on a pearl. I never noticed that before.
How pretty.
So yeah. So there's so much coming in right now, Gray. But it is a lot to be conscious of. And it's not something that we can tell like a lot of people, right? Like, oh my God, this energy is just so much right now. And they're going to look at us like, who are you? Where'd
Well,
you come from?
I have someone very close to me, and she finally came home and said, "This job is making me totally friggin' nuts." And I used to comment, "The police didn't chase you home, so I guess work went well today." They were working with crazy people doing crazy things, and eventually they went to a doctor, and they came home and said, "This is kind of where they think I am and what I need." And I cannot tell you how much medical intervention has changed their life.
Yeah.
And they don't have time to sit around and get navel gaze and stuff like I do. They have to get on with doing things. And it's given them the stability to understand what they really need. So, hi, Kay Muldoon. I'm sorry I missed you this weekend. I missed you 3 times because Kay and I were invited to something and it didn't happen. But Kay actually went to the first one because she didn't realize there was no date on the invitation. And I went on Sunday afternoon, and the people also didn't show up. But I went with my son, and we had a lovely lunch. And I hope you had a lovely brunch. And I look forward to meeting you, Kay. I did not know you were in my area.
Nice.
And the rest of that shall remain nameless because it really made me understand I wanted to go out and meet more people. That was the best part of it. So
it has been interesting, hasn't it? Yeah.
mm-hmm.
I'm doing an in-person meditation on Saturday mornings at
oh my God,
a yoga patch, and it's really nice. Yeah, that eclipse energy that's intensifying. It's been a lot.
And then we have Saturn and Mars deciding to conjoin. I can't imagine a worse set of troopers, man. Saturn, the restrictions, and Mars. I want to make energy move. But I think we're all going to survive it. I'm going to pull a card on our survival. I think I'm going to do it with my cartoon cards. I don't know if you guys have seen this deck, but it's a whole deck of tarot cards based on 1930s cartoon characters.
Oh,
it's fun. Some of the images in here, though, are really powerful. They really pin it to the wall. Okay. Page of Pentacles. It's going to be what we make of it, but we're all novices at dealing with this energy. So how good are we going to be at handling it? Are we going to be able to plant this seed and make it grow? Are we going to be able to invest it well? Or are we going to let it roll out of our hands and roll away? So this is and the fact you're aware of it, Kay, is really important, because then it's just not, oh, the fortunes did this to me. We made choices.
beautiful.
Okay, I like to support this channel, please. Oh, I'm starting to read Sharon's thing, so I'm going, who? Oh, she's asking you to support our channels. And I understand that things are costly and stuff costs money, but it doesn't cost anything to subscribe to either one of our channels, and that really helps us. And there's Sharon's in the house, man. And Kay, I need to meet Kay. She's done keto and intermittent fasting.
Wow.
What I'm in now. So yay.
Good job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
We
free.
need to meet before we shrink away to nothing and there's nothing left to see. Yeah, that happens too. Whenever they screw with your meds, you can gain weight or lose weight, but it's important that you follow it to be able to go back and report it to them. Because people don't tell them. And they just go home, take the pills, and blow up, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you can find somebody at the office that listens too. My doctor is really good, but her nurse is like a rock star. So,
well, my physician's assistant that I went to when I was doing keto, and I switched away from the doctors I had because I already knew they were not going to like it. And I went in with all my defenses up and ready. And I was talking to her nurse, Jose, and I was explaining to him what I'm doing with keto. And I said, you don't think that'll be a problem? And Jose looked at me like I fell from Mars. I'm used to that, but I couldn't figure out what I said this time that caused it. And it ends up this woman had been working in keto for 30 years. When she walked in, we immediately could slide it. And I hadn't, that's not in her resume. That's not in what's featured at last count. Well, she's retired now, but she'd gotten 450 people off of insulin for diabetes 2 by changing their diets.
Wow, that's huge. And so do you feel like that's kind of meat centric or just like all starches?
It's okay.
Or wheat centric. I'm sorry. I said
No,
meat.
paleo is really the one that goes after wheat. Keto is carbs. They don't want you to eat carbs. So you get your carbs down to a limited amount. Well, by that, you're going to only be eating, in a lot of cases, meat and certain vegetables and certain berries, like blueberries and blackberries and stuff like that. You can't eat unlimited amounts of them, but you can eat them. But what actually happens when you get into keto,
Yeah.
I never get hungry. I have to go tell myself, you really must eat now, or you might stop running. And I thought when I used to be the person that the doctor said, we need to take a blood test.
Wow.
I'm switching back to me because I don't think you want to talk to my table. The doctor say you need to come in for a fasting blood thing. And I'd like, book me in at 7:30 in the morning, because by 8 in the morning, I'd be starving. I would be looking for food. And I remember when I got on keto, they said there'll come a day when you'll not eat for 12 hours and you'll turn around and go, God, I haven't eaten for 12 hours. And I was sitting there chortling, following the diet, but chortling. And one day, I was a day before COVID, when I still had places to go and people to see, I got up and I had to go run a few errands. And then I went in to read at Times 10 Sellers. And then I came home that night and I realized I hadn't eaten since my evening meal before. So I'd been not eating for 27 hours. That was so beyond my ability to even understand. And I still maintain that from my keto is I don't get wild, and I never got wild cravings.
Yeah.
You can eat pickles and you can eat a lot of kimchi. They love you to eat that because it feeds the microbiome in your stomach. But you learn a lot about how your body works, and you figure out when it's working and it's not. And there's some things like that they say, oh yeah, you can eat this in keto and it's just fine. And even though it's a 0 carb bread, there's stuff in it that triggers it off in my body that I don't lose weight as quickly. And you can't have a drink. I mean, people say, oh, well, I'll just have a little glass of wine now and again. When you drink a glass of wine or have alcohol, that has to be purified out of your liver first. And a whole lot of ketosis is based in your liver. So if you do that, you've just wasted 18 hours of your dieting.
Oh, forget it. Yeah.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you still want to fit the clothes you just bought for yourself.
Right.
Okay, let's see. Okay, this is so random. Oh, you have not listened to this conversation, but it just seems in a lot of chatters have a similar vote for writing severe emotional rollies. Well, yeah. I used to always say before COVID, people came to readers because things were out of control. There wasn't anybody in the world when the world was working like it did before that thought, I have to go to a reader because that will bring me incredible sense of stability.
Yeah. I feel like it's, if you get a good reading, it's like you've been to a life coach, and also they were so empathic that they kind of knew what was for you, your individual. And that's what I look for it to be, something that's uplifting. But there is a lot going on, Gray, and we're all in that boat.
Yeah, I mean, our whole world got turned upside down 4 years ago. They said, go home, lock the door, and don't come out. Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got an interesting one, and I can do this one in the garden. And since I have the garden out, I may as well.
Okay.
The garden can tell time. When I was beginning to yeah, and so we can see about your son getting a job in the fall. I hate trying to read time in the tarot because it doesn't work nearly as well as you would think. And so what it is this is winter, this is spring, this sort of pizza slice is summer, and this is fall. And we're going to ask about your son, and I believe his name was Nate. I have to get back where I can see that. Nate, is he going to have a job this fall? Okay. When will Nate get his job? Yeah. He's not clear about it yet, but it's all in the fall. This is summer. He's got a real strong inkling it's coming. Let me tell you what I can tell you about the job other than it has no clarity to it. And that's probably just me. Like I told you, I'm not in my world. If you don't know how the garden works, this is body, mind, spirit, grounding energy, and this stone's clarity, but it rolled off the board, so it doesn't get to play. In solar plexus is power, and this is really suited to his own personal energy, and power comes through the ability to transform and transmute. So they're bringing him in to move and shake a lot of stuff. It's going to be really important. Restate. This is what's held him up from moving to this job up until now. Restate means each one of these spaces, I had a vision when I came up with it. And in this one, it was a garden that was all weed covered, but they were useful plants, but they just had overgrown. They were mixed together. They weren't being best friends. So when you get restate, it means go in there and clean up that mess. So restate, when you're talking about grounding, it goes rethink. Don't be blinded by fool's gold, which means the first impressions he has of things, he needs to rethink them. But he's got lots of time till the fall to take a good hard look at this. Now his mind is also in restate. And this says that he's going to be doing a lot of rethinking before he goes into this job. And he trails across a little bit across the heart. Whenever it falls in multiple places, you get to read both of them. His mind is also in his heart. He really, at first he had some questions about this job, but now he's really growing in his own mind to love it. And the false is he's letting go of he's letting go of some of the misleading thoughts he had about where he should go or what jobs he should get. But this is going to be really good for him. And I think clarity rolled off the board because he's not clear about it now. But by the time he gets to fall, where will you be? Oh, okay. He will realize what he needed to learn from the past in order to go forward. So that's a garden reading.
Wow. Laura, I get, so I pulled nature for Nate. I don't know if he's looking at doing something outside or if this is a summer, but things are in bloom when I feel like things are going to be blossoming for him. I do feel like he needs to get in harmony with himself, like Nancy June was talking about, that kind of figure out what he's interested in and gain some clarity on that, what frequency is right for him. And once he reaches that balance of what really calls to him, I feel like it's going to just kind of fall into his lap like a miracle. He's just going to see what he wants and go for it, or it's going to be find it through some unusual way, like somebody's going to say, hey, they're hiring over here, you'd be great. And he'll be like, okay, but yeah, I do feel like it's coming, Laura.
Okay, we got one more happy one. I've been seeing rainbow. What's the message my guides are sending me? Everything, all the energy and all the light. And think about what you heard immediately before you saw the rainbow or the first message you get after the rainbow. See if that helps.
Yeah, it's full spectrum. Angela, I think. Okay, sorry.
Angela.
Yeah. So you're going to have It's full spectrum. And when you see rainbow body, that is like your light body. So they're telling you everything. You're getting like a full spectrum universe there. So and also it's a lot of fae, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a very elemental thing to see. And then question, if possible, new boyfriend for my best friend is a Nilo.
I think it's a healer.
Yeah,
Naturally.
I was going to say that's got to be an age. Will we be working together sometime at some time? I got no.
Yeah. I think you're going to be working in a different dimension than he is, Liz.
Mhm.
Almost is what they showed me. Like he's, and there is no judgment here, but that he's under you, and you're going to be working on a higher dimension of some sorts, like maybe Reiki or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, a little different.
Anyway, so I'm looking down the rest to see if anybody has a question that I think we absolutely have to answer now because we're at an hour.
Oh, okay.
Well, we're getting lots of people saying they love our readings and thank you. That always makes us feel better. And somebody asked a real astrologic questions. I know just enough astrology to probably hurt you.
Hello. Yeah. There's people here that are really good at astrology. I'm not.
And Nancy Castro likes to see the different decks. I do too, but I have to go across the room to get them, and I no thanks. And okay, you're human. You're flipping between being and trying to figure out what you're doing. It's called consciousness, Randy. And we got a lot of food diets. We'll talk about food another day, but I think we've talked about enough. Teri and I both have to get on to things. We had a lot of people who commented.
Yeah. Flip-flopping is easy to do right now.
Mm-hmm.
So just watch yourself do it, and you're good.
Well, figure out which side you like landing on. I mean,
yeah. What calls to you? What makes you happiest?
Well, we do have a show request. We'll do something on the elementals.
Yeah, I'd love that.
And maybe when Dr. Gail gets back to South Carolina.
Oh, that would be fun.
She's driven all the way across the country and seen all of them. For those of you who don't know, she's moved from Mount Shasta. She's on her way back home. And everyone send her love and light because she's on the open road with a cat and a dog in the car. And thank you all for showing up today. We really appreciate it. Remember to like and subscribe. And starting in May, I'll be doing 6-month readings from June through December. And I'm also toying with doing a 9 candles going up to the summer solstice. But I'm being moved that way. But I'm a little like Randy. I'm flip-flopping on that. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye, Teri.
Everybody.
Coming.
Thank you.